All right, today we're going to dive into one of the most incredible and, let's be honest, sometimes confusing transformations that every single one of us goes through, the journey of growing up.
You know that feeling? One day everything's totally normal, and the next, maybe your voice sounds a little different, or you've suddenly shot up and outgrown your favorite jeans. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, you're not alone. It's all part of the plan.
So let's get right into it. This whole period is basically your body starting a brand new chapter. But what do we actually call this journey? The official word for it is adolescence. It's the super important and completely natural bridge that takes you from being a kid to becoming an adult. You can think of it as the time your body gets the memo that it's time to, mature.
So, who exactly sends that memo? And how on earth does your body know what to do? Well, let's pull back the curtain on your body's incredible control center and something called the hormone signal. The messengers that carry these instructions are called hormones. Just picture them as these tiny chemical notes released by special glands that travel all through your body telling different parts, hey, it's time to change, or time to grow. They're basically the directors of this whole production. And this whole process follows a really clear chain of command. It all kicks off in the brain with a tiny but powerful part called the pituitary gland. It's kind of like the master gland. It sends out hormones that zip through your bloodstream and head straight for the testes in boys or the ovaries in girls. Those hormones then tell the testes to make testosterone and the ovaries to make estrogen. And boom, those are the key hormones that kick everything into high gear.
And speaking of high gear, one of the first most obvious signs that things are really happening is something everyone goes through, the great growth spurt. This chart gives us a really cool look at how that growth happens, showing the average percentage of your full height you've reached at different ages. You can see right away that girls often have their growth spurt a little earlier than boys. But here's the most important thing to remember. This is just an average. Everybody's personal timeline is totally unique, so don't sweat it if theirs looks a little different.
You can even use this data to do a little bit of fun prediction. So, for example, if we look at a 9-year-old boy who's about 120 centimeters tall, the chart suggests he's around 75% of his final height. So, with a little quick math, we can guess he'll probably be around 160 centimeters when he's all done growing. Pretty cool, huh?
But growing up is about way more than just getting taller. Our bodies also start to develop in other really specific ways, kind of like they're following a unique blueprint for change. These changes, which scientists call secondary sexual characteristics, are laid out here side by side. For boys, you'll see things like muscles developing and the voice getting deeper. And for girls, the pelvis widens and breasts start to develop. And of course, both boys and girls start to grow more body hair. These are all the physical traits that begin to distinguish the sexes. Let's zoom in on one of those changes for a sec. In boys, the voice box, also called the larynx, grows a lot, and that creates the bump in the throat we call the Adam's apple. As it gets bigger, the vocal cords inside get longer and thicker, and that's what makes the voice get deeper. Oh, and if you've ever heard a voice crack or sound a little rough, that's just the vocal cords getting used to their new size. It's temporary and totally normal. Now, for girls, a really significant milestone is something called menarche. That's just the scientific term for the very first time someone gets their period. It's a clear signal that the body is now capable of reproduction, and it's a completely natural, healthy part of growing up. To understand what's really going on, let's break down the menstrual cycle. It's roughly a 28-day process with 4 main parts. First is the menstrual phase, which is when the lining of the uterus breaks down. Then it starts building back up in the next phase. Around day 14, an egg is released, that's called ovulation, and in the final phase, the uterine wall is all ready for a potential pregnancy. If that doesn't happen, the cycle just starts right back over again. Simple as that.
Okay, but all these changes aren't just physical, right? Your brain and your emotions are going through a huge transformation too. So let's talk about how to navigate your new normal, your mind, your body, and your health. Your inner world is getting a massive upgrade. You start thinking in new, more complex ways, and you'll probably feel a really strong desire for more independence. And yep, you might experience those famous mood swings. But it's not just that. Your memory actually gets better, and you start to develop this amazing ability to see things from other people's perspectives. It's a huge leap forward. So with all this stuff happening, how do you take care of yourself? 2 things are absolutely key. First, hygiene. Your sweat and oil glands are working overtime, which can lead to body odor and acne. So bathing every day and keeping clean becomes super important. And second, nutrition. Think of your body as a building under construction. It's growing like crazy.
It needs good fuel, like a balanced diet with proteins, carbs, and vitamins to build everything strong.
I want you to really let these words sink in. It is 100% normal to feel confused or self-conscious or even insecure sometimes. You're adjusting to a new body and a whole new way of thinking at the same time. The most important thing to remember is that every single person goes through this. It's a shared human experience. You're not alone.
So, after all this, the hormones, the growth spurts, the changes in your mind, what is the single most important thing you can do for yourself as you navigate this incredible wild ride? This, right here, be patient with yourself. Your body is doing something amazing, and it's running on its own unique schedule. So give yourself a break, stay curious, ask questions, and just know that you are on the right track. You've got this.